Now, I'm sure there are people out there that can go all willy-nilly about the day and get everything done, and they're the best at who they are. Good for them. For me, I require some type of mindful track to get back onto, and that's why I use a daily to-do list. Now, I've heard people say that to-do lists are old, or use a calendar instead. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I fill out my daily planner. Once I wake up and journal for a few and start shifting focus to moving things forward for the day, I bust out my daily planner. My daily planner is broken up into 5 different sections. Those are gratitude, to do, in between, and I'll explain those shortly, water, and daily practices. And we'll start with gratitude because I think every day should start with gratitude. I usually write about 9 things down that I'm grateful for. Sometimes that can be people, such as my wife, our dog, my family, my job, our house, my equipment that I get work done with, my health. Those are just some examples of what I'll use in my gratitude section. The next section I want to talk about is daily practices. Now, the reason why these aren't on the to-do section is because these are things that I will always be doing. They're never done, they're always going, and when you can come to terms with that, it makes them a little bit easier to do throughout the day. So that can include things like trash, dishes, laundry. For me, I put things on there like meditation, breath work, DDP yoga, or walk for 10 to 30 minutes, and of course things like showers. Those help me stay mindful of when I'm doing things, and it also helps me keep those practices up. Now, do I do them every single day? No. There's some times that I might go a day or two without a shower. My wife loves me no matter what I smell like. But I will say that writing that down in my daily planner gives me a North Star to shoot for, and it helps me stay mindful of my daily practices. The next section I want to talk about, those in-between moments. James Clear and Ryan Holiday, at their turn of the 2024 to 2025 year podcast, they bring up the little section about in-between moments and how we typically will reach for our phone and check social media or check emails. But for me, since I plan my in-between moments ahead of time, I'm a little more ahead of my habits, my bad habits, should I say. And instead of reaching for my phone, I'll look at my daily planner, which I keep right next to me throughout my workday, and I'll see, hey, here's something I can do for about 15 minutes. Instead of taking like a mindless doom scrolling break, I will put things such as 15 minutes in the garage. And what that does is it takes me to a space that most likely needs a little bit of love, and I will just spend 15 minutes in the garage, whether it's straightening up, throwing stuff away, or reorganizing a little bit. And what's happening there is my mind is off of work. It's on a completely different task that can be a little bit more mindless, but I set a timer for 15 minutes, and as soon as that timer beeps, it's back to work. So another section for my daily planner is my water intake. I think it's very important to drink water. Amongst the millions of health benefits drinking water does for you, I do it just to simply stay hydrated. The last thing on my daily planner is my to-do list. If I have a project that's going to take me about 4 or 5 hours to complete, I don't put the completed project on the to-do list. No, I take a page out of Ali Abdaal's book, Feel Good Productivity, and that is the Pomodoro technique. It's simply work for 45 minutes to an hour, or whatever time period you'd like. Typically more than an hour. You could start getting sluggish up here, so getting ahead of that's important. So let's just say 45 minutes. Work for 45 minutes, set a little timer like one of these right here. Get them on Amazon for $12, and fully focus on that task for 45 minutes. That's what I put on the to-do list is 5, 6, 7, 8 work sessions. And I don't try to complete the task, I try to complete the work session. And this is where I feel like my life changed. Starting to break up my projects into intention and attention as opposed to completing them. Control what you can control. let go of what you can't, and have the wisdom to know the difference. In my line of work, I'm a video editor, and I can tell you something's gonna take me 10 hours to edit, but it could take me 20. So I'm not gonna beat myself up at hour 12 when it's not done yet. Basically, I commit to work sessions, and when the time is right, the project will be done. Now, that doesn't mean lollygag during your work session. I'll tell you what, when I hit that timer starting, everything goes out of my mind. I'm like fully focused on the task at hand. And then whenever that timer beeps, I just fill in a little square next to that work session and I've completed it. Now on days that I'm not feeling so hot and I just don't feel motivated or inspired to move anything forward, just simply setting the time and intention to move that task forward is powerful enough for me. And then before I know it, the project's done. Vice versa, there's been things that I've thought would take me 15, 20 hours to edit, and I do them in 10. And I really do think that's because setting that timer, hitting that button really does have an effect on my focus. And the Pomodoro technique is something I've been using for a couple of years now, but really put it to practice after I read the Feel Good Productivity book. And I would say, if you haven't read that book, check it out. But the Pomodoro technique is something that I utilize to knock out my to-do list. So just a recap here from my daily planner, I have my gratitude section, I have my daily practices, I have my in-between moments, because if you don't get ahead of those, they'll get ahead of you. I have my water intake, and I have my to-do list. Now, the 3 most important things on that daily planner are trash, dishes, and laundry. And if you click this video right here, I'll go into detail on how it changed my life when I made those a priority over just about everything else.